charge. Well, later this week, the UN is going to hold a, quote, summit for the future. And they're going to produce, this is right from their website, an intergovernmentally negotiated, action-oriented pact for the future with a chapter on transforming global governance. Ascending beyond the powers being sought by its subordinate agency, the WHO, the UN is seeking even broader and more powerful authority, as you will hear a lot about today. The Biden-Harris administration apparently intends to fully support the surrender and compliance of the U.S. to the UN in these endeavors. They are aligned with the international globalists that hate America, that hate the Constitution, that hate our founders, that hate our founding Judeo-Christian principles, and they want America to become like the rest of the world. They don't want us to be subordinate to or governed by our Constitution. No, they want America to be subordinate to and governed by the UN, the world.
Woo! Yeah, I've been waiting to do this video, and I'm like, today is the day. I had to really meditate on how I was going to present this, people. You see, because this is it. Man, this is it. In the late 70s, I found out about this plan, and I have not been the same since. Good evening, good day, ladies and gentlemen, my fellow Americans. I am French Shot Pearson. Welcome to French Shot Blue. It is Wednesday. Happy Wednesday, September 25th of 2024. I have 5:28 in the PM. Hope you guys are having a beautiful week. We have mid-70s here in Chicago. Get a little cold at night. Goodbye, summer. And hello, New World Order. Oh, man. It's here. Look. Got to keep it 100, right? Satan said, I want to be like the Most High. And we are the generation to see the final touches of what this plan is. I do believe that mankind has gotten together with the fallen angels, and they have made a pact, an agreement, if you will, to bring this thing forth. This would explain all the banking, that is the finance, our governments, our military, our business, our social, our morals. Everything has been twisted and changed for the purpose of the NWO. Oh, yeah. And if you think this past week, when all the representatives from around the world, from around the globe, waltzed into New York and had their meeting, of which Joe Biden, our illustrious president who's on his way out, he spoke as well. If you think they were there just to have a 1999 Prince party, I would say check again, because the plan is world governance, which will supersede the Constitution. Yes, you heard it. To supersede the Constitution. They want to get ready for whatever crisis and whatever it is that they dictate is the need of the country. You see, if you listen to Barack Obama, and if you listen to Biden, and if you listen to Kamala Harris, when they speak, when they say, you know, we have so much more in common than we do apart, and that we'd be better off working together as one. You need to understand that beyond the borders. Listen to me very good. Because the next time you hear Kamala Harris say, we are so much better together, working together, our strength, our values as one, than we are separated. Notice she's not just talking about America, baby. Somebody got to break this thing down. And I'm telling you what they're saying, what they really mean, in my humble opinion. They're talking about a global understanding of how the world should operate going forward. Why do you think she said it's time to turn the page? Come on, man. I know I know your mind is going back in the recesses of your brain like, Pearson, you're right. She has said that. Obama said the thing at the DNC. And so she said it too at the DNC. And guess what? Biden been saying it too. Yeah, talking heads. Because they got a global agenda. They've been sold America out. And they got to condition you by keep saying these words without saying international governance. But if you listen to this guy now, after you listen to what I just had to say, check it out. Let's put this thing together. Here we go.
Well, later this week, the UN is going to hold a, quote, summit for the future. And they're going to produce, this is right from their website, an intergovernmentally negotiated, action-oriented pact for the future with a chapter on transforming global governance. Ascending beyond the powers being sought by its subordinate agency, the WHO, the UN is seeking even broader and more powerful authority, as you will hear a lot about today. The Biden-Harris administration apparently intends to fully support the surrender and compliance of the U.S. to the UN in these endeavors.
Compliance to surrender what, baby? Our sovereignty. This is the one world system. No wonder they got the P. Diddy thing going on so strong and all the folks out here coming out of the woodwork. And not that that's not legit. I'm just saying, look at the timing of it, baby. This should be the #1 issue in America. And yeah, I know he got on the purple tie. I get it. Hey, but I'm like Chris Tucker. Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth? This is the NWO, baby. This is it. They just came here 2 days. And now they're in agreements. Do you feel me? They're in agreements. And it's going to culminate in this, what I've been teaching you the last couple of months. The lotus flower. Kamala means lotus flower. Historically, out of the lotus flower comes the sun god Ra. Oh yeah, it's time. When you think about the sun god Ra, and the NWO, or the One World System, they all together. It's coming. The timing is impeccable. Listen.
Concerning the lotus flower. Watch this. This is mind-blowing.
It's commonly accepted that the lotus is the symbol of resurrection and rebirth, of a new life, of eternal lives. They are aquatic plants. Lotuses send out their roots deep into the dark, fertile mud below the waterline. Then their stem and bud reach upward toward the surface until it breaks forth into the daylight.
You see that? The different variety of colors, pink, and then white, like that, or ivory. Is that what he said? The lotus flower is like Ra? Listen.
Like Ra emerging from the cosmic ocean. And you may remember from our first lessons that Ra is often shown actually coming forth from the opening petals of a lotus blossom.
Did you catch that? First time that I know a decoder brought that out. I want you to see this. The sun god Ra, birth, they are speaking to us, people. They are.
And here's a depiction. This is the lotus flower. Out comes that god, the sun god Ra, with the snake and the falcon. Oh yeah, it's deep. It's deep. If you want to see some more of it, go to my site, French Shot Blue. I just went out to the Art Institute this past week. It would be great to check out the video. This one here, Origin of the Antichrist. And you will see details of it. Details of it. You can also check out the Michael Jackson and Whitney Houston, the Egyptian. But this one here is a must-see. Origin of the Antichrist. From Egypt, Pharaoh, baby. It's deep. They are speaking to us.
Speaking,
Coming
hallelujah.
forth from the opening petals of a lotus blossom.
This is the system that's coming. This is the system. What system? The one world system where everybody agrees. They're just under these different names. You feel me? Like United Nations. That's the whole intent. To knock down borders. But many of the issues that we have in America and the world were caused by, to me, these secret powers. So they can justify at the end coming together to solve them. So how you gonna trust them? You can't. It's deep, baby. Now, here we have Redacted. I watched this a few days ago. Like I said, I've been preparing this thing slowly. Here's one of his correspondents. Listen in relation to this UN meeting they just had about taking our sovereignty. Forget about the Constitution. Forget about the Bill of Rights. It's all about what the UN has to say in times of crisis or whatever in the future.
Yeah, thank you for that, Clayton. So the reason Americans and really people all over the world need to know about this is because in minor resistance way, all of the major nations you would expect are on board. The Pact for the Future is calling for a few main things. The first part is to include an emergency platform, and this emergency platform would allow UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres to declare an emergency at any point. It's very similar to what we saw in the pandemic treaty, that people were resistant, but unfortunately there's less awareness about this. What the language says specifically, that if there are, quote, global shocks, which shock multiple regions of the world, then they could invoke this emergency platform, which would give the UN more powers to act. Now, what exactly would come from that, we don't know, because unfortunately, we have seen 3 drafts that have been released previously, the most recent one on August 27th.
So it's in secret, and they're doing it gradual. Like I said, you probably got about a third of the YouTubers talking about this P. Diddy thing and everything else going on, and the young people and people who want to keep up on this gossip, that's what's flooding it. People don't know what's coming. In general, folks don't know what's coming. I say they don't know what's coming, people. They don't have a clue. And yeah, I'll probably expose some Diddy thing from a spiritual standpoint. You can check out the video that I did. It's real deep. It's called The Cycle. This explains it more in detail, what this Diddy thing is about, okay? Forget all that, who's sleeping with who and all that freak stuff. Understand the spiritual aspect and the social dynamic and what has been going on in our world, keeping us dark. So yeah, check this out now. Here's some guys talking about what global governance has done historically, because sometimes you gotta look back to understand what's going on forward. History always speaks.
Every time we have a global empire and when we get global governance, that top leader always declares himself God. The pharaohs in Egypt declared themselves God, Nimrod declared himself God, and then Caesar, he declared himself God.
So it's the inevitable progression of the totalitarian state that once man has moved God out and has all power, man becomes God.
And in fact, Xi in China right now basically is declaring himself God over China. I mean, he's a messianic figure. And that's why I say America is the only country that's keeping us from global governance. All of the other nations of the world have lined up for global government, but America hasn't. And we're the bulwark that stops it. That's why we have to protect America, because when America goes down, that's when the beast system comes.
Woo! Knock it out the park. Knock it out the park. Right there. I'll put this in the description for show. Listen to it again. It's deep. It's deep. They make it work on this one. Listen to it. We're the last Humpty Dumpty to be sucked into this system.
Every time we have a global empire and when we get global governance, that top leader always declares himself God. The pharaohs in Egypt declared themselves God. Nimrod declared himself God. And then Caesar, he declared himself God.
So it's the inevitable progression of the totalitarian state that once man has moved God out and has all power, man becomes God.
And in fact, Xi in China right now basically is declaring himself God over China. I mean, he's a messianic figure. And that's why I say America is the only country that's keeping us from global governance. All of the other nations of the world have lined up for global government, but America hasn't. And we're the bulwark that stops it. That's why we have to protect America, because when America goes down, that's when the beast system comes.
Do you understand now? This is why the Biden administration, in my humble opinion, is not dealing with the border crisis, because they're international. They're international in their thinking. They've been birthed into the situation. The Trilateral Commission, the Council on Foreign Relations, the One Worlders, the globalists. This is how they think. And they got people in positions that's supposed to be representing us. This explains why they knocked down the borders, because they don't want borders in the one world system. They don't even want a constitution in the one world system. The Bill of Rights goes out the door. All your freedoms are done. There's no border. It doesn't exist. That's why your economy stinks. That's why they're going after your rights. It's deep. I said it's deep. I've been looking at this thing since 1976. I've been looking at this thing. We here. And we the last one. Do you understand how long it took to get to this point? We the last one left. Only by the grace of God are we standing. Come on, Jesus. It's so deep. And oops, there it is. I predict this is what we headed. The rock colors, orange and gold. Let's look at it. Sun God Ra. Sun God Ra. Right here. See his colors, orange and gold? Orange and gold in the sun? Yeah. Same colors there, aren't they? Newsweek depicted that back in the day. They sure did. They depicted that way back in the day. November 11th, back in the day. They depicted that. Yep. Barack Obama taking care of the whole world, looking like Shiva, who's the god of war. Right? Isn't that something? Why would he take a picture like that? Barack Obama, Lord Shiva. And he got on red and black, which is destruction. And Shiva's the god of destruction. Yet, in his hand, he's got peace. He's taking care of the global housing, money, army, taking care of everything. What did these people say? Once you accept one, you get a leader. You get a leader. Boom. And what did Prince say in 1984? When he talked about the purple rain? You say you want a leader, but you can't seem to make up your mind? I think you better close it and let me guide you to the purple rain. And I've been telling folks since 1984, it wasn't the R-A-I-N, but it's the R-E-I-G-N, the reign of the new world system that's coming, the new one world governance. And now they got Barack Obama as the leader. Will he declare himself? Woo, it's deep, baby. I said it's deep. September 22nd, they were here to 23rd in New York. All the leaders of the world, including Joe Biden, spoke September 22nd. Take September 22nd of 2024, subtract it from the magazine article with Barack Obama on the cover, holding the world up. 11/11, make it 2023, the last day, anniversary. The difference is 316 days. What is 316? For God so loved the world, he gave his only begotten Son, that whomsoever believe in him shall not perish but have everlasting life. It's sacrifice, baby. They're going to tell you we got to sacrifice. And they're going to tell you that they got a leader that was sacrificed for your betterment. Yeah, right. It's all a scheme, baby. Then look here. October 24th, 1945, when the United Nations was founded. October 24th, 1945. Take October 24th, 2024, got a birthday coming up. Subtract it from 9/22, the date that the United Nations just had their meeting in New York. The difference is 4 weeks and 4 days. Who's the 44th president? There he is, the 44th president right there, Barack Obama. Lest I say more. It's deep, y'all. Here's your United Nations right here. Back in the day, they had a beast. The mascot, I guess. End time beast no longer. It's no longer displayed. Folks got wise to him. Look at that. Like the beast of Revelation. That was at the United Nations. Look at that. Look at that thing. Look at that beast. Look at that thing. Yeah. Mythological creature. Right. What they was making back in the day in Egypt, allegedly. And what they're probably making right now. The A-N-D backwards. I say the A-N-D backwards is what? What they was doing back in the day with the time of Noah. Mocking God and making their own images. Just like Egypt was making their own images. That's not made of God. So who made that? The fallen angels with man got together and made it. And God wiped it out. So why would they have this thing again? Because it's the fallen angels working with the bloodline to bring us the one world system. I said it's deep. In the Bible, the book of Revelation describes a dragon with 7 heads and 10 horns. These are the countries, nations that's going to come together. In Revelation 12:3, the dragon is said to have given power and authority to a beast that rises from the sea. In Revelation 13, the beast is described as having the body of a leopard, the feet of a bear, and the mouth of a lion. This is what we at, baby. This is what we at. This is what we at. They know what's up. United Nations. They know what's up. Book of Revelation. It's real, baby. It's real. This stuff is happening. These devils are bringing it. They're giving all their power to the beast. You can believe that. The Bible is real. The Bible is true. If you don't know Jesus, it's time, baby, because they setting this thing up. It's hard to find this information right here. It's hard to find. I figure I'd wait on a few days, get some more information. I've known about it, like I said, since I was 17. This thing is real. And let me share something with you. I have a book in front of me. It's titled, I've shared it before, With No Apologies, by Barry Goldwater. He knew about the one world system, and he challenged the boys back in the day. The Council on Foreign Relations, he challenged them. He challenged the Council on Foreign Relations and the one worlders back in the day. He tried to run for president, and they snubbed him, and he didn't win. He says, to my mind, there is a cause. That cause is freedom. We stand in danger of losing that freedom, not to a foreign tyrant, but to those well-intentioned but misguided elitists utopians who stubbornly refuse to profit from the errors of the past. If I am right, if the Republic is in danger, then time is short, he said. Time is short. And he goes on to say down here, he says, we can say it is communism, but when we scrape away the varnish of wealth, education, class, ethnic origin, parochial loyalties, we discover that however much we've changed the shape of man's physical environment, man himself is still sinful, vain, greedy, ambitious, lustful, self-centered, unrepentant, and requiring restraint. He also goes on to talk about how it don't matter what your background is in terms of style of government. He says they'll work through anything. They will work through anything to destroy a nation. It's deep. This is one of my keepsakes. You got to check out this book. It's by Barry Goldwater. I don't know exactly what that part is. I skipped over it, but yeah, he talks about how it doesn't matter if you're socialist, communist. It's not gonna matter. They're coming. That's the bottom line. They're coming, and they have come together under one roof. You know, they're also gonna have a world church too, people. They're gonna have a world church, and that devil, that religious leader, he's gonna give his power to the beast as well. I'm Friend Shot Pierce. If you like my work, please subscribe. Thumbs up. Tell people about the video. Remember, this is the channel where you got to check every day to make sure that you're subscribed. Okay? And also look for my videos. I do at least 3 or 4 a day. God bless you. God be safe with you, and hold on to each other and know that Jesus, he's got to come. Folks might not believe it, but hey, he's got to come like he did during Noah. He's got to come. He's got to come and take us out of here, because these folks got a plan, and the devil's going to spearhead the thing. The war is not ours, it's the Lord's, and we're victorious, but he got to come get us. Somebody say hallelujah.